Hi guys, welcome back to Get Sassy. Listen, lately you seem to find me driving in my car, and I know if I can speak for myself, I can speak for tons of people in the United States that we do lots of thinking when we're in the car, and of course that's how I come up with some of my ideas. That's the time where you want to kind of watch where you're going on the street, because if I'm in deep thought, that might not be such a good thing behind the wheel. With that being said, in the last couple days, actually it's been the last couple of years, I found myself giving advice to a lot of people in the wedding industry, and it seems to be the same problem. And the problem is regarding a lot of the wedding portals, Wedding Wonderful, first two letters please, and several others out there who claim that they have no ability to remove something defamatory about a pretty decent vendor. There are clients that we have, and granted, nobody's perfect, and if you claim to be perfect, you're effing full of shit. That's what I have to say about that. You know what? Brides and grooms, if you go into a contract with a vendor, we have every intention on making that day work for you. But you know what? Things happen. And there's sometimes things that happen that are with not our control. We're not in control of certain things. I can't, like that commercial, click up at the sky and say, oh dear God, do you think you could change that rain and turn it into sunshine for 15 minutes? Because my client that wants to get married outside in a tornado and torrential downpour would like to get married right now? That really is not what I'm capable of doing. However, I am capable of giving people options, and I believe that it is the same for many, many vendors. We all go through funks. We all have family issues. We all have things that happen when we go home after we're done working with you, and you know what? Again, some of these things we can't happen. So before you run to the wedding portals to start trashing us online, trying to destroy our business, remember that a lot of us have families. We have businesses. And you know what? If you start writing a really, really horrible review without talking to us first or using that as blackmail, you're in for a treat, because there's a lot of insurance companies out there right now that would call what you're doing defaming someone's character, or even better, libelous content, which you have no documentation of. But I assure you, if a vendor's really good in this business, they do have the documentation. With that being said, let me focus on driving. I'm getting a little heated up here. I get that way every time I think about it. We'll be back in 5. We'll be right back after a few messages from some of our favorite sponsors.
You would not believe the motherlode I just dropped. And that's how I like to keep it, leaving not a trace that I was ever here, let alone that I just birthed a creamy behemoth from my cavernous bowels. Nothing is worse than stinking up the shared toilet at work, or the toilet at a party, or your lover's apartment. Of course, flushing removes the graphic evidence. Maybe 2 or 3 flushes if your skid marks are as tenacious as mine. But what can be done of that subtle scent of a 300-cow dairy farm? Aerosol air fresheners aren't the most effective option, or the healthiest. Trying to mask the stench, giving you a nice blend of ChemLab carnations with just a touch of feces. So, how do you make the world believe your poop doesn't stink? Or in fact that you never poop at all? Poopery. Poopery is the before-you-go toilet spray that has proven to trap those embarrassing odours at the source and save relationships. Simply spritz poopery in the bowl to create a film on the water's surface that actually traps the odours in their porcelain prison. And when your little astronauts splash down and make contact with the film, they release poopery's pleasant aromas, so all those around you can smell as a refreshing bouquet of essential oils. Yes, it is a real product. And yes, it really works. We've sold over 4 million bottles. On Amazon alone, there are over 1,000 reviews rating it 4.8 of 5 stars. That's a better Amazon rating than the iPhone 5. If it doesn't completely stop your stench from spreading, send it back for a full refund. Our unconditional stink-free guarantee. If your poo stinks, click here to get your poopery today at poopery.com. So whether you need to pinch a loaf at work, cut a rope at a party, or lay a brick at your boyfriend's, your days of embarrassing smells or prairie dogging it are over. Poopery. Our business is to make it smell like your business never even happened.
Hi guys, welcome back to Get Sassy. I am still driving in the car and just thinking about some of the last things that we just talked about. And this week actually, I'm going to be covering a lot of different areas regarding weddings. And again, this is for the vendors. This entire week is dedicated towards the thousands and thousands of vendors who do such amazing work on a daily basis. And from me to you, I am sorry that those things happen. I wish that some of you guys would get enough courage to stand up for yourself. You know, I learned a very valuable lesson. I had a bad listing one time, and I knew in my heart, I knew in paperwork, that what was being written was not true in any capacity. Let me tell you something. This bride went to Angie's List. She went to the Better Business Bureau. She went to Wedding Wonderful and the XO and the all those other sites. And well, after I showed my documentation to a lot of these places, they immediately took her listing down. But there was one in particular, and it was Wedding Wonderful. And if you guys just remember those first two letters, you'll know who I'm talking about. And it's not good to say negative things, so I'm only going to tell you things that I experienced on my own, which were factual and truthful, not slanderous, and not libelous in content. So here we go. Anyway, I had a bride who signed up with me as a designer and a planner, decided to work with some of my staff because, well, sometimes people cannot afford my fee, or they'll utilize me for things that are such as decor, or maybe finding better vendors or negotiating with vendors. And when I say negotiate, yes, I mean a good price, but no, I'm not going to destroy the integrity of a really good vendor. So, you know, we cut away our services. If you've got a good vendor, then they may tell you maybe you don't need these things right now, and you can always go bigger later. Well, anyway, let me get back to my story. So this client did everything that she could to try and destroy me. Why? Well, she was working with another employee at my office, and this employee wasn't doing their job. I don't know what went on between the two of them. I can tell you that employee is no longer working with me, and also is no longer working in this industry. Why? Well, because she stole from me. And she stole from me not just monetarily, which was disgusting by itself, but she stole my trust, and she stole, kind of like stealing somebody's identity. She stole a lot from me, and that really pissed me off. And why should someone who I pretty much handed over to her on a silver platter her job? I gave her what every planner's dream is: 20 to 25 kinds of clients that would love working with us. And with that being said, you know what? She wasn't there. I'm not sure what happened with the bride. She started saying that I left her 2 weeks with her wedding without 99% of her punch list being done. Okay, let me think about this for a minute here. I've been in this industry over 25 years. 2 weeks before somebody's wedding and 99% of their checklist, that would not, I wouldn't be in business anymore if that were the case. You know what? I guess I wasn't strong enough to do what I needed to do to get, her what she wanted, which was full coordination, attention. Well, you know what? I have a life, and I did give her everything she wanted. I took her specific case on myself. I remember being ill at the time and actually leaving the hospital against doctor's orders to work with her to show her that we really do appreciate her business, even though she's so underpaying us. And I just wanted her to be happy. That's really all I wanted. And at this point, she waited an entire year to complain about this, which made me believe that there must have been something else going on. And that may be applicable for you, but this week, I'm going to start talking about ways for vendors, how to get better business, how to work with clients that are not exactly the right clients for you to work with, and, well, the inevitable. What if you start working with a client and realize you guys are not the right fit? It happens all the time. I'm not the first person to complain about listings being untruthful and, of course, saying slanderous things about my business. I don't think that's the way of conducting business. I think a lot of people do that with friendships. They do it in our industry. They do it everywhere. And you know what? Wake up, America, because you know what? At the end of the day, if you don't have peers and you don't have a good support system and all you're doing is cutting people down, saying miserable things about people, not taking the mature way out and sitting down and having a conversation, you know what? You're going to find yourself very lonely. With that being said, I'm going to take a commercial break. We'll be back in 5. We'll be right back after a few messages from some of our favorite sponsors. Hi guys, welcome back. Well, you last saw me in the car, of course, going on ranting about the industry and how vendors and the wedding portals are not working together, and that brides, when they're not satisfied with our business, that's the first place that they go to. They attack us on a wedding portal. Now, granted, there's a lot of people in this industry that I say thumbs down. You guys suck. You've not been trained. You got married. Maybe you decide, hey, I can do that and I can make tons of money too and do a much better job. Well, if you take apart the vendor that you just work with and you take away their education and all the training that they had and all the time and years they put into it, you should go through the same things that they do in order to be just as good. And the vendors that are really good in this business should want people below us to be better than what we were able to do in this industry. That will keep our industry forever growing. So for those brides out there that have found it to be maybe constructive criticism to attack somebody on a wedding portal, before you go ahead and criticize every bit and portion of who we are and what we live and stand for, think about what you're saying, because you're not just hurting us, you're hurting our families. You're hurting our livelihood. And yes, I get it. There's a lot of bad people in this industry, in any industry. And this is for anybody in customer service. There's no reason to add salt to a wound to destroy someone, because I don't believe there's anybody truly out there that is in the mindset of wanting to destroy somebody's special day. We are just as stressed as you are. We plan for things that are probably not going to happen, but if you're trained and you spend enough time doing it, you're not going to end up with some maniac that is going out there to spoil your day, and you better get out there and destroy them before other brides use them and their life is totally destroyed, blah, blah, blah. That's not generally going to happen. We are entitled to make mistakes. You make lots of mistakes, so do we. And you know what? For those of us who've just gotten into this industry, I'm actually going to go into a commercial break, but I have some information for you. I think it's worth listening to. And you know what? Write into info@SamanthaGoldberg.com. You don't agree with what I'm saying? You know what? Let's talk about it on air. It's a fair game. We'll be back in 5. Coming up next on Get Sassy. Brides, we do everything that we can to protect you and your families. We try to make this day very special. We tried to make your world an easier place because it's a lot of freaking stress. And you know what? Stressful for you? Just think we got 27 or 40 other people just like you.
Hello, are you the manager?
Well, yeah, the general manager.
Okay, fine. Okay, the case here is that we have a registration form, and it said that we basically are committed for 1 month only, and on this registration form it says nothing about email, or you will notify us by email that we have to call in to cancel. And also we did not receive the email, okay? So we basically have this registration form that said that we are registered for 1 month, and now you charge us 3 months through our credit card. And what do you think? Do you think this is reasonable?
And are you looking at the registration form?
Yes, I have this registration form right here, and I will keep it in case I need to settle this case legally.
Yeah. In the registration form it says step 1, choose a monthly subscription.
It says 1 month or
No, it doesn't say 1 month.
hours.
It says monthly.
No. You want me
It says
to
choose a
this
subscription length.
registration form?
Is how often we renew the account. Like if you choose 1 month, every month we renew. If it's 3 months, every 3 months we renew.
You know what? Let me read from this one. It says step 2.
No, what about step 1? You didn't read step 1.
What step? Okay, step 1.
Start with step 1. Choose a monthly subscription.
Yes.
It's monthly subscription. It's not only 1 month. It's monthly, which means you go month to month. You're not the first user. See, this is the problem. We have over 800 users that came before you, and everybody understands the same thing.
No. Don't try to put me that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to argue with you. We're going to give you 1 month refund, and that's it. If you have a problem, you can take us to court.
Okay, fine.
All right.
I will
Bye-bye.
talk with, okay, fine. No
Bye.
problem.
Hi guys, welcome back. Well, some of you guys might be saying, we're getting back to that woman, that crazy looking lady, me, that's talking about brides and vendors and wedding portals and the way that we give constructive criticism in the event industry. Well, it takes a lot of guts for me to sit here, first of all, and tell you, brides, that we are people too, and we do make mistakes. And I've been doing this for over 25 years. So I feel pretty comfortable in saying that there are many people behind me, many people that have gone through things that I have. Luckily, knock on, is there any wood in this house? Woo! And I'm not talking about the wood down there. Get that out of your mind. That really kind of stand behind what's needed to be successful in this business. If you have problems or wonder, say, for example, you go to Wedding Wonderful. It's a website. That's not actually what it is, but the first 2 letters stand for something else, and I'm not allowed to say that on TV. And I have to say to you guys, here are a thumbs down, too. You don't do anything right with your customers, and if your bride's looking on your website, you're not doing your brides any favor either, because what you're doing is if those people have a bad review, you take it down. You know what? Why don't you change your formula and make the criticism less constructive, meaning destroy, because that's not what you're doing to your customers that are paying to keep you alive. Just a little tip from your fellow planner over here, who's a little more public and has a much bigger mouth than probably most people in this business, but that's okay. That's how things get changed. That's how things get better in this business. So one thing I do want to talk about is for the bride, because without you guys, we wouldn't be in business. And so I don't want it to be just about what we work with, but what it's like for you. While you're planning your wedding, and again, tomorrow's episode will be about the planning process, and I'm hoping after you see that show that you'll be able to relax, trust us, know what to look for, and set your expectations on a lower level so that you don't expect things from us. And again, communicating those expectations to us is key, because we're not psychic. We can't read your mind. If you don't like something, again, we can't read your mind. That's why we have those initial business meetings before we do your wedding. Some do a couple of things before your meeting. As a planner and designer, I meet with our clients several times before the wedding. It's different from my point of view because I'm going to send you to vendors that I've worked with. I know they're good. I know that they've been in business a long time. I know that they are insured. Does that mean they're mistake-free? No. but they've been doing this a long time and I've gotten so many great reviews. If I read that they have a couple of bad reviews, should it change my mind about the vendor? No. You got to remember, guys, a perfect score doesn't mean a perfect score if you're savvy. You might want to take a look into that and see other people's experiences, because you can learn from a past mistake. You can learn from a past mistake. And for you vendors that are watching this and saying, yeah, Samantha, you give it to him, woohoo, yeah, I know. Not exactly. What I'm trying to come across is just tell everybody that nobody's perfect. Brides, we do everything that we can to protect you and your families. We try to make this day very special. We try to make your world an easier place because it's a lot of freaking stress. And you know what? Stressful for you. Just think we got 27 or 40 other people just like you that we need to treat the very same way. And some people take a little more time than others. It doesn't mean that anybody's treated differently. It just means that certain people take a little more time than others. I have to be politically correct here because I think everybody can resonate with what I'm saying. People need a little more at times. With that being said, I'm going to go to a quick commercial break. We're going to be back. And again, tomorrow I have some great things for you, the bride. This is all about you. And I know you're going to have a lot of great things from that show. We'll see you in 5. We'll be right back after a few messages from some of our favorite sponsors.
Hi, I'm Tracy and I'm playing his sister.
Hi, I'm Nick and I'm playing her brother.
They went in also asking for rose centerpieces, same-size tables. At this florist, our wedding couple got one quote for $300 per centerpiece. For that same centerpiece description, our party couple was quoted $250. Now, for 10 centerpieces, that's a potential $500 wedding markup.
Hi.
We paid a visit to the well-regarded florist to ask why.
And you did quote a price that was higher for the bride than you did for the regular party. Why would that be?
Well, it varies. I mean, we were talking a little bit different in size.
It's almost verbatim exactly the same, and yet the price was higher.
What I showed them when they physically came in was a different container. One was slightly larger. One was a more expensive container than the other.
Did you show the bride the cheaper bowl?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
I didn't have it at the time that she came in.
So it's just sort of
It was what I had on hand.
He says there are many variables that go into pricing flowers, so if you're a bride on a budget, just say so.
I mean, if she came to me and said, my budget is this, I would have worked within her budget and I would have showed her less expensive options had I had them on hand.
Which brings us to one of the best kept secrets of wedding savings. It's a lesson in perspective.
The industry tries to encourage you to have the perfect wedding. We try to tell people you need to have a fun wedding because perfection just doesn't exist.
To that vow, we can all say, I do.
Hi guys, welcome back. Hopefully this half hour has given you some things to think about. People that have recently gotten married or people that are getting married. This is actually part 1 of a 2-day series. And again, as I promised, the next series, which will be tomorrow, is going to be more about the bride and all about the planning process. And I've got some great tips for you guys to make this a less stressful, a very exciting time for you and your new groom. And of course, some great tips on how to stay relaxed, save money, and have a fabulous soiree while all of those things come together. I will see you guys tomorrow night, same time. Have a good evening. tomorrow on Get Sassy. Before you say no to video, say yes, because you'll never see people in a live state like that again. You don't typically videotape funerals, do ya? I don't think they'd want someone with a videotape there, because they'd be, look at Sarah Kim, they're getting bombed and dancing around at Grandpa Joe's funeral.